What's up, Warriors fans? It's your man Max here with Warriors Latest. As always, like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell if you like what you hear, as I do post new Warriors videos daily. Now, at long last, it took 9+ weeks. We finally have an end to the Warriors transaction embargo. And though the signing isn't really a big one, I'm just glad it happened. Now, it's this guy named Tavion Kinsey. He's not likely going to make the roster. It was probably an Exhibit 10 deal from what we know. But at least it's something. It shows that at least Mike Dunleavy's looking to start building the roster, or at least they're pretty much walking away from the table in anything Jonathan Kuminga related. So that's just a big sign because you know what? Now that they've made a small signing, maybe they'll make a bigger signing, go out and secure Horford, go out and finally secure Gary Payton II, go out and get those rumored minimum deal guys and start building a roster that's going to play for a championship. Because right now, the Warriors aren't really set up to do anything big. I've seen those comments where they're not even built to be a 10th seed. And while they definitely are built to be better than a 10th seed, they're still in the play-in if they don't add anything to the roster. And in all honesty, I'm tired of waiting, and I know you are too. Let's see something happen. Not Jonathan Kuminga related, because that's going to get solved eventually, whether Kuminga likes his deal or not. So that's just going to be solved. And it may take all the way to October 1st, but at least now the Warriors are moving past it, hopefully. Because we can't take another, 3 weeks of doing nothing. Because you never know. These minimum guys, they might sign with other teams. They look at the Warriors and say, hey, that's a team with a lot of roster spots, and there aren't a lot left in the league because everybody has all their guaranteed spots filled up, and the non-guaranteed or the open spots, they can't really do anything until January for cap purposes. So that's why the Warriors are so attractive. But you can see some of these guys say, hey, you know what? Maybe I'll go play in the EuroLeague. Maybe I'll go play in some other South American league at least to get the reps, and then come back mid-season to a playoff contender. And I don't want to see the Warriors do that because it's possible that can happen. But it still remains to be seen. Hopefully something gets done and the Warriors can actually make moves forward. The good news is they also have shown interest in a non-guard, specifically Cody Martin. Now, I want to take time for some clarification. Caleb Martin is the one that played for the Miami Heat and helped Jimmy get to the championship in 2023. He's the Heat guy. Cody is his twin brother who was drafted by the Hornets and played there for a number of years before signing with the Sixers and then getting traded over to the Suns. Now he's a free agent. Now, you have no idea how many times I got that confused. Because I'm looking at him, I'm thinking, this is the guy that played with Jimmy. No wonder there's going to be chemistry. So I was happy about that. But unfortunately, that is not the case. He is a good defender and a solid three-point shooter. I do like that. And he does play something other than shooting guard. He's a small forward, can back Jimmy up, or even allow Jimmy to move to the 2 when necessary. So I'm a big fan of this. And it's really adding on to what the Warriors are trying to do. Add some pieces that don't give a clogged backcourt more issues. Like, we look at who they have. They have Pods, they have Moses Moody, they have Buddy Hield, they have Steph, they're probably going to go after Malcolm Brogdon, they're probably going to go after Seth Curry. We already know that they're likely to bring back Gary Payton II, so it's nice to see the Warriors at least bring something in terms, or have interest in somebody that isn't a guard. Because we've seen there are a lot of guys that have sort of, the Warriors have been interested in, but it really hasn't led anywhere. And at this point, it's just frustrating to hear because of anybody that is a guard when it comes to the Warriors. Because, you know what? I'm tired of it. You're tired of it. They need to actually sign somebody that fills these voids that they have on the offense and on the defense. And at least small forward is something, because we know Jimmy can play there, but other than that, everybody that's playing at the small forward is pretty undersized. They do have some of those younger guys that are big enough to play there, but I don't trust them enough to have them as a starter or a backup. And no, when you have a guy like Cody Martin, who's been in the league for a number of years, has done well with Charlotte, has done well with Philly in his short time there, I'm like, all right, that's something. At least it's not crazy, but at least it's something. because that it's a name brand or a name that has value to it. I mean, a lot of these younger guys, that it's like, okay, they play for the Warriors, but we don't know if they can handle a bigger responsibility. We know with Cody, he can handle that big responsibility, and I'm a big fan of that. This is why I really hope that the Warriors at least do something to go after a guy like him and don't really think about it in terms of, oh, do we have to pinch pennies in order to make sure we stay under the second apron? And I think their interest in him is pretty much based off the idea that, you know what, maybe if we do re-sign Kuminga to that qualifying offer, we have a little bit more money to work with. And, you know, even if he has his contract superstar year, at least we have a fallback option when he goes elsewhere. And not saying that Cody is better than Jonathan Kuminga, but at least the option is there to move Jimmy to a 2, which I think is a better space or better position for him, as he's not big enough to guard some of these bigger small forwards. Like, I know he can handle Giannis, I know he can handle LeBron, but there are some of the younger guys that are becoming a little bit tougher, and I want to see him just stick with some of the guys that are his size. Now, speaking of those big small forwards, we finally got some clarity on the entire Giannis situation. And that is after Rafael Stone went on a podcast the other day, and Rafael Stone, for those who don't know, I'm pretty sure we all do, he's the general manager of the Rockets, and he goes on there and he says, yeah, we approached the Bucks regarding a trade for Giannis, and they said, you know what, we're not really trying to do anything right now. So I look at it back then, and the Rockets back before they traded for Kevin Durant were loaded. They had everything, and if the Bucks offered Giannis, they could get a king's ransom and then some. They could get all Phoenix's picks, all of the Rockets' picks, anything they wanted, along with probably, I want to say, Amen Thompson. Yeah, I get these twins confused because I'm like, Amen plays for the Rockets, Asar plays for the Pistons, Cody played for the Hornets, and Caleb played for the Heats. Sometimes I get Markieff and Marcus Morris confused all the time. I think the only pair of twins I can think of that I could tell the difference is Robin and Brooke Lopez, and that's only because of the hair. But anyway, the fact that they wouldn't even look at that kind of deal shows how much of a pipe dream it is for all teams looking to trade Giannis, especially the Warriors. Now, even if we offered Steph, I think that's the only way we could pry Giannis, but I think they'd want a little more than just Steph for Giannis. So at least we know now, it's like, whoa, what happened with the Rockets? They had all the pieces to trade for Giannis, and then, boom, it doesn't happen. So at least now we know that any thought process of getting Giannis is a complete pipe dream, and the Warriors and us fans need to just put it from our mind. It really doesn't matter anymore. I know you guys in the comments love to say, yeah, it was a pipe dream from the beginning. I'm like, yeah, you're right. It was a pipe dream. So at least we know the core is going to stay intact. It's going to be Jimmy, Draymond, and Steph. They're not going anywhere. And now that the team has started to at least make moves, even though it was an Exhibit 10 deal, they're at least looking towards the future now instead of just standing pat in this stalemate they have with Jonathan Kuminga. So I'm happy about that, and it's nice to know that, you know, when you have that little sliver of hope, and then you just realize it's like, whoa, even that guy couldn't get a deal done. And they had tons of more assets than we did. And that says to me it's never going to happen. Giannis is staying with the Bucks and just playing out his contract because it's obvious that John Horst and the Bucks, even if they wanted to deal with the Warriors, wanted to deal with the Rockets, he's placing I wouldn't say way too much faith, but he's really betting on Giannis's loyalty and the relationship they have between the two of them. And I'm like, all right, fine. If you're betting that big, let's hope it doesn't blow up in your face. Now, bottom line is, now that the Warriors have made a move, and now that we all know that Giannis wasn't going anywhere to begin with, I think it's time that the Warriors just move forward, continue to add players, and start to build out this roster. Because as they stand, as I said before, they're a play-in team at best. And I don't want to see them as a play-in team. At least we do know that, all right, we're getting Al Horford. The Warriors are bringing him in. They're probably bringing back Gary Payton II. They're probably going to bring in these guys, but it's all been held up because of Kuminga. I mean, this signing at least gives me an idea that, all right, we're not letting Kuminga dictate our offseason completely. We've given him the time. We wanted to work something out. It's not going to stay there. We're just going to put this to the side, wait till October 1st. And if he decides to sign the qualifying offer, great. If he doesn't, that's okay too. So let's see him bet on himself and really prove that he is worth the money that he wants. So I'm happy about that. Hopefully there are more moves that are to be made this offseason, at least smart moves. Let's not just make some dumb moves and continuing to add in places that aren't really necessities, like the Warriors did a few years ago when they traded Jordan Poole for Chris Paul. I mean, let's be honest, that did not work, and it never was going to work. So that's that. Now, that's all we have today for Warriors Latest. As always, like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell if you like what you heard today. And if you have other ideas of what the Warriors need to do this offseason, along with the usual fire Kerr or sell the team, feel free to comment below, as I love to hear your thoughts on what the Warriors should do now that they've actually made a move. And as always, go Dubs.